Ciara, amazing job on this film. My gosh, it's
Uh,
amazing performance.
Thank you.
Of course, first question I have for you though is can you tell me about Emily and talk to me about Emily's relationship with Cherry?
Yeah. Um, Emily is a character that's very, very, very special to me. She's got a very special place in my heart for many reasons. Um, I really admire her strength as a character. Just a little bit of background. Um, she's Cherry's partner in this. We first meet her in college. We get to watch them fall in love, and then we get to watch them go down some really dark, scary paths later in the film, but still while holding on to that love that we see in the beginning of the film as a sort of life preserver. But when I first read the script, what really drew me to Emily was something that I felt like I sort of recognized in my own upbringing. And I feel like in the Midwest, we define success through family and career. You know, if you fall in love and you have a partner and you have a family and you have a job, then you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Um, I think what we see through Emily is what can happen when you don't take care of yourself, both mentally and physically. Um, but you still understand why she's holding on to this idea so desperately, you know, why she's gripping onto this marriage and to this other person in her life to the point where she ends up losing herself and hurting herself in the process. Seeing that and sort of recognizing that trend happen in my own life with people that I love very dearly, it really drew me to her as a character and it made me want to play her.
Well, so much of the film's emotional resonance hinges on the relationship between Emily and Cherry. How did you and Tom develop that on-screen chemistry?
Oh, it was such a breeze. Tom was one of the nicest people. He is one of the nicest people I've ever met. But we were lucky that we had a couple weeks before we began shooting to really get to know each other. We sat down. I went over to his house a few times. We watched movies, just like talked, and really became friends. And in that friendship, I think we were able to develop something really special on screen because we had that level of trust. We knew that we were both willing to go to the places that we needed to go to. We both knew that we would have each other's backs if the other one stumbled because we were in it together. Um, it was a dream to work with Tom. I hope that in my career I get to do it again.
Now, a lot of actors learn about themselves by choosing challenging roles. How did you prepare for
Right.
such a mentally challenging role?
Um, I just wanted to make sure that I was creating a safe space for myself outside of work, but also doing the proper amount of research so that I could approach this role with as much respect as it deserves. Because this is not just Emily's story, I mean, or Cherry's story. This is the story of millions of people worldwide. And I just wanted to make sure that when they watched this movie, they weren't offended, but instead saw and was able to connect with a version of themselves on screen. So I was lucky enough to do some research in Cleveland and going to a rehab facility and speaking to people there. And one of the nurses there in particular had a very shockingly similar story to Emily's, which I found to be very, very, very helpful because she was able to explain to me what battling a demon like an opioid addiction really looks like, and how it changes you as a person. And being able to answer those questions that I had for myself and for Emily as a character through that conversation, I think really allowed me to go to those places and feel more comfortable telling an accurate and realistic version of the story. I hope, anyway.
No, you did an amazing job. Now, the Russo brothers are coming off of one of the biggest movies, well, the biggest movie of all time in Avengers. Can you talk to me about the collaboration process and working with them?
Yeah. I mean, knowing that information going into it was extremely intimidating because it's like, oh my God, who are these people? What are they gonna be like? Because you never know. But I was very lucky in that the brothers are just really extraordinary people, and being able to film in their hometown of Cleveland made it even better because it felt like it was such a family environment. You know, this was very much so a passion project for them. So I felt lucky to be able to be a part of that experience and building and creating this world and this movie. They're collaborators through and through. I think that's what makes them so talented is they listen to the people around them and they want to hear the different ideas that everybody has, and they want to explore them. I mean, they're artists. You can really see that. But having your voice respected and heard on set, it always feels good. It was a great experience. Yeah.
Well, look, you did an amazing job. I can't wait for people to see your performance in this. You blew me away. So thank you so much, Ciara. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to you, Joseph.